Everybody, it's Sam from Safe Spaces with Sam, and I'm here to explain to you a little bit about love languages. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking, why is that relevant to coaching? Because you might think about it in terms of kind of romantic relationships, but it doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. And with my parent coaching hat on, I very much speak to parents about how they can improve their relationship with their children if they bear the love languages in mind. And lots of parents feel it's a really important, useful bit of information for them to know about. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So there are 5 love languages, and those are gift giving, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. Okay, now we all have a preference of what love language we like to receive that makes us feel good, and we tend to be a giver of one of those love languages as well, naturally. Now, children up until the age of about 8, it's great if you can try and give them a mixture of all of those things. Once they get to about 8, they then tend to show a preference as to which one they like. And this is where it's interesting, because if you've got a parent who's a giver of one of them, but a child who prefers to receive another, that's obviously a misalignment. Same obviously in the romantic world, which is why dating agencies now very much ask for what your preferred love language is, so that they can then match you, because actually it's really important in a relationship. So if I just quickly kind of whiz through what they all mean, just in case you're not aware. So a gift giver, somebody who likes to receive a gift giver love language, obviously likes little gifts. They like trinkets, they like being bought flowers and chocolates and being spoilt, I guess you could say. And we all know of people like that. I would say most children like being bought gifts, but some more than others. You know, you'll get some kids who ask all the time, can you buy me a toy? Can you buy me a toy? Some kids aren't fussed. And obviously past that 8 years old mark, you might know that your child does or isn't fussed. The words of affirmation, that is basically telling you you're great, saying thank you. And lots of us mums would love to have more words of affirmation, just as a bit of gratitude, I guess, for the things that perhaps we do more than other people in the house. And that does not come from our children, because naturally they have selfish brains, and they're not going to say thanks for doing all their washing or making their meal. In fact, they'll probably moan about you making their meal and saying it's yucky. So I think that's where there's some misalignment for a lot of us as parents, because our children can seem to be very ungrateful. But if they're not naturally saying thank you, because that's not their love language, then that is going to be a misalignment. Physical touch, that's an obvious one. So some people love hugs, they love holding hands, they love those little kisses and things. I've got one daughter who does, and one daughter who most definitely does not like physical touch. I know there's something wrong if she comes to me or my husband for a cuddle, let's put it that way. And that again is where you can have some misalignment, because some parents love to shower their children with that physical touch, and they feel that's the way to show affection and show love. But if you've got a child with some kind of sensory issues that doesn't like being touched, and they're doing this every time, that's not great. That's going to dysregulate them. So although it is heartbreaking to feel like your child doesn't want to have that physical touch from you, it's not a personal thing, they just don't enjoy that particular love language. So you kind of almost have to make your peace with that and find other ways to show the love. So that might be worth looking at. Quality time, that's again pretty obvious. So that's about spending time with your child on a one-to-one basis if you can, as much as you can, and showing them that you want to spend time with them, but not going somewhere with them and spending your whole time on your phone. It's actual quality time. And this is the interesting one in parent coaching, or certainly for my older children who come to see me. A lot of them say what they really want is for their parent to spend time with them. And what they get right now is potentially a gift giver parent who thinks that if they buy them stuff, that's showing that they love them, but that's not what they want. That's not their love language. They want the quality time, and that's not happening for whatever reason, because we're all busy, let's be honest. And a lot of the time, if I'm on my phone, I'm not scrolling on whatever, I'm doing the Tesco shop, or I'm lining up business posts, or I'm doing work stuff, but I am essentially on my phone, and therefore not potentially giving my children the one-to-one attention that they should have. So that's something that maybe be worth looking at in your own lives. And then the last one, acts of service. So this is where people doing things for you because they're showing you they love you. So, you know, from a wife perspective, it's somebody else in the house emptying the dishwasher, or noticing that the tumble dryer's finished and it could be unloaded, or, you know, jobs basically is what I'm saying. So acts of service that help around the house. And children, I don't know many children that love acts of service, I'll be honest, because we pretty much do lots for them anyway. But certainly as they get older, they might appreciate the acts of service. I mean, saying that, do you know what, I tidied my girls' bedrooms yesterday and they were both quite grateful for it. They appreciated that act of service, and they gave me words of affirmation back, which is also nice. So there you go, there's your love languages. It would be interesting for you to sit down and have a little think between, you know, if you've got a partner, you and your partner, is there a misalignment there? You and your children, you and friends, you know, what love language do you give? What love language do you receive? And it might be different from person to person. It's an interesting one to think about. Thank you for watching. Comment below if any of that resonates. I'd be interested to know what you think. Bye.